Hey everyone, I just wanted to take a second to show you how you can create these image slash buttons within your own message. Um, so I'm going to create a grid of 4 here. So my first step is going to be to pull in a new row and then divide that in half so we have 2 columns on top of the other 2 columns. The next step is going to be to pull in an image, and then on the image properties here on the right, we're going to click on Design on Canva, and in the drop-down menu, we're going to select the option for square. Once you do that, it's going to load up the Canva integration for you. And the first thing that I'm going to do, because I created that kind of shadowed out effect, is I'm going to click on our space, and I'm going to change the background color on it to be black. The next step is to select your photo. So you can search Canva's photos for anything that you may need for in your newsletter. They do have a bunch of free options as well as pro options if you do pay for their service. You can also upload your own images if you would need to. So you could use anything from, like Unsplash or Pexels there. So I'm going to choose one of my recently used, and I'm actually just going to click on this image and I'm going to drag it over to our space, and you'll see it adjusts the size automatically so it fits within that square. And then if I'm not quite happy with where the placement is of that image, I can double click and drag the image around so that I can get it to be the proper size. I just want these hikers to kind of be bottom center, and hit enter. And then with the image selected, you can actually click on this transparency option at the top right, and you can change the transparency. And what that's going to do is that's going to let that color bleed through. So I'm going to set this to 40, and that's how I have my shadowed out effect. The next step here is going to be to add your text. So I'm going to add my first line of text as a heading, and it's going to be the state that I'm working in. So I'm going to use California, and then you really want this text to be overly large, because think about when the image scales down on a mobile device, you still want the text to be readable, and since this is a whole image, that text size isn't going to auto adjust. So I set my font size to 136 here, and then I'm going to use the font that I had used on my other images, which is this Nor'Wester, right? And then I'm going to drag that just above the middle line. You'll see Canva creates these pink lines to show you where center is, horizontally as well as vertically. So I'm going to leave that just above center. And then I had kind of a button below that. So I'm going to click on the elements in Canva, and under shapes, I'm going to choose a square, which we're going to turn into a rectangle by dragging this down. So my size was 720 wide by 125 pixels high. So I'm going to try and get as close to that as I can. 126 will work, and then 720 wide. And then I had my white button over my image. And then I'm just going to drag that to be centered horizontally. And then we're going to add some text over top of that. So I chose a subheading. So this I had as find our fave spots. And this one I had actually made a little smaller. And we're going to change the font once more to what I used on those others. Right, and we're going to change the color to black because we are going to need it over our image or over our square element. And you can again see those pink lines to make sure that it's centered on there for us. And then I'm going to hold shift down to select my text as well as the button together. And we're going to drag that up just below our other heading. Now I'm going to put a little space in there. So I'm going to hold the shift key and push the down arrow 5 times so we have 50 pixels in between. Shift allows you to do 10 pixels at a time rather than just hitting the down key, which does 1 pixel at a time. So I'm going to hold shift key and also select our heading, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to group those together, and then I can drag that to be perfectly centered in our square. So there's our image. It looks great. I'm going to save that to Aweber. And Canva is going to export that and put it into your image gallery within Aweber. So here it is. And then you just want to make sure you update your image link as well as your image alt text, because your alt text is what displays if someone has images blocked. So this is very important to add to the image. All right, and then I kind of want this white space in between, so I'm going to change the width here to 290. And on the row, I'm going to add a 10 pixel padding to the bottom. So what's also really nice now is I can copy this image and drag it over into my other row. So you can now see I have my square grid. And I don't actually have to totally recreate this image again. I can actually just click on edit on Canva and it's going to open up that design. And I can just double click in here and change this to Colorado. My button's already good, so we're good there. We just need to swap out that background image. So I'm just going to pull in a new image here. You'll see it saves all of my settings. So I'm all set. I can save this to Aweber. And you'll see I have my image. It's going to pop in here. All right, so we just need to readjust that size to be 290 and change out our alt text as well as our link. And we're all set now to send out our image. So just a quick preview here. Here's my whole message. And if I click on a mobile device, there's that grid nicely stacks and makes it easy for users to click on these images to go to that section of your website. So I hope you found this helpful. Any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are always happy to help. Have a great day.